I mean, is Cooper Rush worth 2.5 points? I would hope Quinn Ewers put up a decent stat line against Arizona State. If he didn't, we have a real problem.
You can say the same thing about Creighton. Okay, they had the one good game against Kansas at home.
When Toast talks about the kicking market, it's like some earth is flat shit. Andy, true or false, this is going to be a dog walking.
Dog walking. This is my dog walking of the day. I think it's going to be very ugly. Dog walking. I think this is going to be ugly.
Hey, get the sauce. Yo, what's up, everybody? Happy Friday morning to you all. Hope you all had a nice Thursday. I went 2-2 in my bets. I probably lost a little bit of vig. One of my losses was only 0.75, but my wins were minus 118 and minus 120. So I would imagine right around break even for me. It should have been 3-1. And anyone who watched the end of that Texas Rangers game, oh my God. Well, I'm going to try to put into words what happened at the end of this game, but words don't really do it. Okay, so they got the bases loaded. Want to know how? A routine ground ball to third base. There was runners on first and second. Ground ball to third base. If he steps on third base, the game is over. If he throws him out at first base, the game is over. It's 2 outs. Ground ball to third base. He is indecisive, and then he tries to go to third base, then he realizes he's not going to make it there in time, which is probably true. I don't think he would have made it to third base in time. Then he decides to throw it to first. Too late. Safe. So now the bases are loaded with 2 outs. That's how the bases got loaded. So the game should be over already. Now the bases are loaded. It's 3-2. Need one more out. Routine. And when I say routine, it doesn't get more routine than this ground ball to second base. Inexplicably, there is nobody covering first base. And I know you're probably thinking, how is that even? What do you mean? Where was the first baseman? I don't even know where he was. There was nobody there. And the second baseman literally fields the routine ground ball, looks around, and there's nowhere to throw it to end the game. So finally, he takes it, and eventually the pitcher ends up running over to first base. He throws it there. It's not in time. So now the game's tied. So how did they lose? Well, because they're all so pissed, and what just happened, everyone's like, how was nobody covering first base? The guy rounded third, and they scored 2 runs on the play to walk it off. I was upset, to put it delicately. I was feeling a little violent about it, but it's okay. Went 2-2 tonight. The end of that game was crazy. And speaking of crazy endings, man, the Pacers are magical. That was wild. For those who don't know, Pacers were losing. When I say the entire game, I mean literally the entire game. I actually put this tweet out. I'll bring it up on the screen here so you guys can see how crazy this is. So, yeah, here is the tweet I did right here. Time spent with the lead in Game 1. It was tied for 1:34. The Thunder had a lead for 46 minutes and 26 seconds. The Pacers did not lead the entire game. That game-winning basket they hit with 0.3 seconds left, that was the only time they were winning the entire game. So, fun Game 1. Anyway, we're here to talk baseball.
Can I give a quick shout-out to Andrew Nemhard, this small little point guard from a small little school in Gonzaga. 16 points he either scored or assisted on in that fourth quarter. Just a straight dog.
Wow, is this true? Trevor Vanderbosch went 7-0 today? Who is this guy?
Go Jonesy.
Look at Jonesy. All right. So Trevor actually sent me in a few picks. So when we get to those games, I'll read off the picks that he has 3. So this first one is Miami, Tampa Bay, and as we in the voice chat, this one wasn't open yet. It looks like there is a line opening up, minus 174 for the Rays at home. Littell's pitching against undecided. Do you guys have anything you want to touch on in this one, or should we just skip it?
If we're getting Cabrera, there's a possibility I play on Miami. I just have to have that for sure. If we get Cabrera, there's a possible
he's been pretty good
in Miami for me. Just because of the price. Nothing against Littell. He's been really good as well. But until we get actually know what's going on and stuff like that, it's nothing really.
Yeah, Cabrera's been pretty good. But yeah, I'm down to just skip this one. I mean, if they're going to give me the plus 146 with the Marlins in that ballpark, actually probably it'd just be Marlins or over or pass or something. I don't know. Spoon, anything for this one, or should we move on?
Yeah, I really like the over in this park during the daytime. These early games, the wind blowing out, it's really conducive to runs. I also just would rather back Littell than Cabrera. I think Cabrera is the kind of guy that's just going to challenge too many batters and watch the ball go over the fence tomorrow, and I think I'd either go Rays -1, depending the price. I hadn't seen a line that's too expensive. Probably Rays -1.5 or just the full game over. But
yeah,
I haven't bet this.
I agree. I would probably go over or pass if you're looking to bet this one. Is there weather here? Let me just refresh the page. Oh no,
Nice day.
Yeah, it's a nice day. So yeah, over or pass. Let's move on to better games. Phillies Pirates. It's so Joe Ross is not technically. I mean, he might be starting, but it's a bullpen day for the Phillies, which is interesting. You don't really see Philadelphia with many bullpen days. Some teams we're used to it, and we know what to expect. Like Detroit this year, the Rays in years past, we know what to expect from these bullpen games. Phillies don't do this very often. So, Spoon, any idea what to expect here from the Phillies in terms of pitching?
Well, on bullpen days, I generally try to favor the team throwing the bullpen, but this is Philadelphia's bullpen, and it's not a bullpen I trust as far as I can see it. And I don't know. Bailey Falter is a really good young pitcher, and I like his ability to pitch well, but I think the Phillies can get to lefties, and I think overall this is a spot where I'd kind of just look over because I think the Phillies will have a bad bullpen arm at one point in this game, and somehow the Pirates' bad offense scores a few runs against them. This is an ugly game for me. This is not something I really want to get involved with Phillies bullpen. That's not my style.
So it would just be over or pass, but most likely a pass.
Yes.
This is an ugly one. Toast, what do you think?
It would be Phillies or pass for me. I would bet it at 140. I mean, I guess it's moving to 145 now, but yeah. They didn't use any of their major guys yesterday, and I'm not really a fan of this Pittsburgh team in general. So has Falter been very, very good? Absolutely. But again, I don't really trust that. I know that he's all right, but I'm not trying to go to the bat with the Pirates right now. So it would only be Phillies or pass, but probably more emphasis on the pass.
Yeah, same. It'd be Phillies or pass for me. I can almost guarantee with certainty I would not be betting this game.
If you get an 8.5, there's an 8.5 on ESPN if you're playing the over, but
yeah. Rangers, Nats. Weirdly, the voice chat was okay. So, you know what? I'm going to put a poll up. Which is more of a revenge spot? Corbin versus the Nats, Nationals Nation versus Corbin. Which is more of a revenge spot here? Patrick Corbin returns to DC. I think it's more of a revenge spot for Patrick Corbin because obviously I can't speak for him, but the way things went down, I think we were talking about this in the voice chat, I think he feels his career would have gone differently. Not that he's a victim or anything. They paid him a small fortune.
I was going to say he won a title and he got paid out the ass.
Nah, I know, but like he was kind of like known as a joke there for a long time, and I think a big portion of that.
$50 million a year.
I think a big dude, I'm not like his therapist. I'm just saying I think it's a revenge spot for Patrick Corbin because I think he feels he would be viewed differently if it wasn't. If you look at Patrick Corbin's career, he was excellent, then went to Washington and he was like a joke for a while, leaves Washington and he's immediately great again. So I think he might feel his career would have went differently if the Nats didn't just leave him out to dry every single start. So is this more of a revenge spot for Corbin? Or Nationals Nation, man, they're probably hating seeing Corbin pitch well. Like, where the hell was that? What do you think about this game, Toast?
It would be under or pass for me. I'm not in a position where I'm thinking that Patrick Corbin's just going to magically pitch bad because he's in Washington right now. So, I mean, I guess I can see it because it's Patrick Corbin Day, and that's what everybody likes to see. But, I mean, he's been pretty damn decent this year, and we know that this Washington team struggles versus lefties. So if he just happens to blow up because he's back in a park where, keep in mind, he won a title. He was 5th in Cy Young at one point. I mean, it's not like everything was all bad. I mean, he was a national through and through. So, I think it's a little bit overblown personally. I think this total is extremely high. I get the weather's probably going to be nice, but it would only be under a pass for me.
I think Spoon agrees because I remember him talking about it in the voice chat. You think Corbin might get touched up here?
I do. I think this is old habits really die hard, and he's coming back to Washington. He's going to get just that mental feeling of all these old fans around him. This is one of those things. I can't back Patrick Corbin in any way, shape, or form tomorrow. I'm going to bet against him. I think this is a spot where we can get multiple runs with the Nationals. I don't know if I want to take a first 5 over, or if I want to take a Nationals team total over, or just Nationals money line. Put the Nationals money line on the board for me because I don't trust the Rangers bullpen. I know the numbers are kind of looking up in the season right now, but this is just a fade Corbin spot for me. I haven't bet it yet, but I'm looking for a way to do it.
I kind of want to bet the Nats too. It's just plus 108 sucks. Give me like a plus 125 and I'm there. Plus 108 is really thin with Soroka on the mound. I mean, if it was Mitchell Parker
from the market, though, is it not?
Yeah. Oh no, absolutely. It kind of confirms that this should be a tight game, and I think you do have to consider the weather. It's beautiful with slight wind blowing out to left field. It's number 4 in terms of ballpark index today. The reason I'm a little hesitant, because I agree with Spoon. I think Corbin's going to get touched up. I agree with that. I'm a little hesitant here. One sec. Nats haven't really been all that great against left-handed pitching. They didn't touch Matthew Boyd, didn't touch Robbie Ray, didn't really get to Kyle Harrison, didn't really get to Cade Povich. I mean, the Nats as a whole, not exactly explosive against left-handed pitching. So it'll be Nats for me. But as of right now, I don't have a bet on the game. I don't think plus 108 is enough. I'm just going to need a little more meat on the bone to take a shot here with the Nats money line. Let's move on.
You can get a Rangers first 5 team total over 2.5, or Nats first 5 team total over 2.5 at plus money. Should be free.
2.5.
Corbin's on the mound. It's Corbin. He's going to get touched.
Toast is mad.
I'm not mad at all. What do I care about?
I'm normally a Corbin first 5 under guy. Like, I like the bum fights, but I think this is a specific spot where we can get to him. Washington's really good against this pitch mix. This is a pitching staff that's going to go right over to the hitting coach and be like, this is what he does.
Next up, Red Sox on the road in Yankee Stadium. I bet this one. Red Sox team total over 3.5 minus 140. You know what, you might be, the way that some of these team total markets have moved, maybe you can get this tomorrow. But you got beautiful weather in Yankee Stadium with the wind blowing out. Will Warren is a guy who's been pretty adamant about how I don't think he's very good. So I get to fade Will Warren. I get to fade the weather in Yankee Stadium. I also get to fade the Yankees bullpen, which is not in great shape. So I actually wouldn't completely hate a shot on the Red Sox here. I just really don't trust Walker Buehler so far this season. So I like the Red Sox to get to 4 runs. They're going to get 9 full at-bats in this one against Will Warren, who doesn't go deep into games, against a Yankees bullpen, which is, I mean, it's a little on the tax side. It's not too bad, but I very seriously doubt you'll see Tim Hill. Mark Leiter Jr. is probably available, but if he is that really a big deal? Remember, Will Warren doesn't go deep into games, so the Yankees are going to have 4 runs, maybe even more than 4 runs of space to fill at the end there. And I just think there's plenty of opportunities for the Red Sox in this ballpark to get to 4 runs. So I bet this. I'm on the Red Sox team total over. Spoon?
Yeah, I like the full game over. I don't want to isolate it just to the Boston bets. I think New York can also get to Walker Buehler. While Walker Buehler's had a great career, he's obviously been able to be hit this year. Gave up 10 hits in his last start. I think this is a spot where New York can really score some runs. They're 3rd on the season versus the 4-seam fastball, 10th versus the slider, 1st versus the cutter, and these are the pitches that Walker Buehler throws the most. This is also just one of those rivalry games where I don't think either team really wants to let this lead slip away. So if it goes 2-1 Boston, then New York goes up 3-2, and then it just keeps going back and forth. And I don't have enough faith in Warren to try to back him. I'd rather fade Buehler, but I think this is a spot where we can just get a full game over. I haven't bet it yet, but I'm looking to.
Toast. Oh, Toast is on Boston. I don't absolutely hate the pick. I made fun of you for it in the voice chat. It was a little.
I hear you.
So Toast is on the Red Sox.
It's just more of a price thing for me. I'm not in the camp where I'm worried about Rocker Buehler. I will agree that the lefty numbers are concerning with some of the power lefties in that Yankee lineup with Grisham and Bellinger. And Jazz, who's been pitching pretty well lately as well, or at least since he's came back from injury. But I just don't think that Walker Buehler's pitching as bad as people are making him out to seem. I mean, 6 innings against Toronto, or 11 total innings versus Toronto, 3 runs, 1 at home, 1 on the road, 6 and 5, whatever you want to do it. He pitched really well against the White Sox. I guess who cares? On the road at Cleveland, 6 innings, 3 runs. I mean, that's not absolutely terrible. He got kicked out of the Mets game on some BS call. He looked pretty decent against Baltimore, and then he obviously had a blow up against Atlanta on the road. But I don't feel like the Yankees, the way that they've been playing, I mean, it's been kind of hit or miss versus them. I mean, keep in mind, I mean, even going back to the Angels series, I mean, these bats really haven't done anything. They had that one game on Sunday Night Baseball where they kind of exploded. And besides that, they really haven't done much. So I just copy that with the fact that Will Warren, I think, is a little bit overrated, and he's played some pretty bad offenses over the last 7 games he started. The LA one, he got absolutely touched up, but on the road at Colorado, who cares? At home against Texas, who cares? On the road at Seattle, on the road at Oakland, Tampa Bay, Baltimore, who the fuck cares? So we'll see. This will be a decent test for him. Not to mention he does struggle with lefties as well. Duran, Devers, Abreu, Marcel Mayer, Toro can hit from the left side as well. So I do think that Boston can get there. More than anything, it's a price thing for me. So I haven't bet this yet because everybody loves to bet the Yankees. So I'll wait until this number gets up to like 155, 160. But I will be on the Red Sox.
You think it'll get that high? I don't think it will.
I don't know. I was kind of exaggerating on that. I'll give you that. But I do think it's going to go up. It's already started to go up so far.
It looks like I do see a plus 145. But yeah, that's mostly where it's hanging. All right, let's move on to the next game, which is Arizona Cincinnati. What a weird game this one is. Good luck trying to figure this one out. All right, so there's moving pieces everywhere in this one, and when I say moving pieces, I mean just insanely high variance in every aspect of this baseball game. On one side, you got Eduardo Rodriguez, who I think we all agree is not really a pitcher you're jumping at the opportunity to back. So you got Eduardo Rodriguez pitching on the road in Great American. So even if you hate the Reds lineup, you're not loving the opportunity to bet Eduardo Rodriguez on the road in Great American. Eduardo Rodriguez has not been good. He hasn't pitched in I think 3 weeks, but I'll pull it up so you guys can see exactly the last time he pitched here. So here it is. So you can see his last time out was May 14th. 4 earned runs, 8 base runners, only made it 4 innings. The time before that, he got absolutely demolished against the Dodgers. 12 base runners, 6 earned runs, didn't even make it through 3 innings. Got crushed by the Phillies before that. Got crushed by the Mets before that. Was getting scored on by Tampa before that. So, I mean, on the road in Great American Ballpark, even if you hate the Reds lineup, you're not really loving the idea of backing Eduardo Rodriguez. Keep in mind, in terms of weather, this is number 1 on the list. Great American Ballpark, plus 21% run index first. Weather is beautiful. Beautiful run-scoring weather here in Great American for this one. So even though the Reds' numbers against lefties are really concerning, I still think they'll be fine scoring off Eduardo Rodriguez. And on the other side, I don't even know what I think about Nick Lodolo. I mean, yeah, he looked great in his last start, but his home starts haven't been good. He struggled against the Cubs in his last home start, struggled against the White Sox in his home start before that, got crushed by the Nationals in the home start before that. He actually hasn't had a good home start all year. And in this beautiful weather...
Now pull up his numbers versus lefties, too.
Yeah, okay, I'll actually just pull it up on the screen.
That doesn't seal the deal for anybody.
So this is what I was talking about. Here are his 3 home starts. Bad, bad, bad. His road starts look pretty good, but his home starts look bad. And here he is at home against Arizona, loaded with left-handed bats. He struggled with lefties, although lefty pitchers against lefty bats, that data sometimes is a little bit, they don't see a whole lot of them. So everything points to the over, but how do you take an over 9 in a Reds game? I think it's over for me. I just went on for a while. It's over for me, but is anyone going to be really surprised if the Reds get shut out? No, they're the Reds. Over a pass. Boom, what do you think about that?
So this is Eduardo Rodriguez coming back from a shoulder injury. I don't like pitchers coming back from arm injuries. I think it's a bad style to try to back him. This is his first real outing. I definitely like the over here. I think Arizona's offense in this small park is going to be insane. Just their team total over, the full game over, all of that's live. But I don't really think you should take the Reds lineup out of this because Eduardo Rodriguez is making his first start back. And while you might not trust the Reds versus Reds bats, I think there's a spot where they can kind of get some positive numbers. Put me up for the full game over.
Are you in on this? I'll bet it with you, Spoon, if you're down.
Not so fast.
Okay, not so fast. Go ahead, Toast.
No, he actually said my bets. Arizona team total over 4.5 minus 115, over 9 or over 9 minus 120. It'll be 9.5 tomorrow. But Spoon just said it. You have Rodriguez, who's been absolutely terrible, and he's not going to go long. Again, Arizona bullpen that's absolutely horrendous as well. Obviously, again, have some of their guys are back and stuff like that, but again, I don't trust them at all. So not to mention the fact that this Arizona team does not die, as we saw today. As I continue to lose, Arizona scores 15 runs in the ninth for me to lose my Braves money line. So you can't really count this Arizona team out at all. And then as far as the Cincinnati side, I know that they're really hit or miss, but with great weather and multiple chances at subpar pitching, I do think that they're going to be able to put a couple runs across. But in my head, it's going to be like a 7-3, 7-4 type of game. Arizona wins. So I want all my focus on the Arizona bats personally, but I did play the over as well. I split my money in half.
I just bet the over. Yeah, I don't see any reason to isolate Arizona, but I get it. When I tell you team total overs, I do like playing the road team. They get the 9 full at bats, where the Reds, if they're winning the game, obviously won't bat in the bottom of the ninth.
What are you getting on the over right now?
I just got a minus 129.
But 9 minus 120.
But there are 9.5s popping up already, so I think Toast is
I can
right.
see it. I have a minus 120 that I can get.
That's what I just got.
9.5 there.
Oh, I just got a minus 120 flat 9, but I'm seeing a 9.5. A couple books have bumped this up to 9.5. DraftKings is up to 9.5. So I think Toast is right. I think this might be 9.5 in the morning.
I'm gonna pay for that 120 right now. I'm going to get in on it.
I just did. I'm in. I'm in with you. Houston on the road in Cleveland. Why? I don't think I must have stepped away from the voice chat for this one because I don't even remember looking at this game. Did you, Spoon? Did you look at this one?
So this is my favorite game. I came into this knowing that I was going to bet Houston. I don't know if you've looked at Cleveland versus left-handed pitchers. They don't do that well. This guy Colton Gordon, I know his numbers don't look beautiful in the majors so far, but he came out of the PCL, and the day he came out, I looked at his stats, and the day he came out of the PCL, he was leading it in ERA. He was second in innings pitched. He was third in strikeouts, and he was fifth in WHIP. This is a pitcher that I think the Astros called up because they needed somebody to get through a 17-game stretch with no breaks. And I think he just earned a spot to stay. I know you see some runs given up, but this Cleveland team is not going to score those runs in the same way. And then you look at the opposite side of this. We got Logan Allen on the mound. I really think the Astros bats can get to him. The last 30 days, the Astros bats are 6 WRC plus versus left-handed pitching. They're number 1. This is a spot. I love Houston. I think we're getting a gift of a price. Lock it in. I already bet it.
Yeah, I think I'm agreeing. And to Spoon was talking about Cleveland against lefties. Just to give you some numbers to see just how embarrassing it is. This is actually crazy. So here are the lefty. Here are the lefty starters against Cleveland. Ready for this? Rodon, 7 innings, 1 run. Skubal, 9 shutout. Abbott, 5 shutout. Suarez, 7 shutout. Rodon, 7 shutout. Reagans pitches into the 8th inning, 1 run. Bubic, 6 innings, 2 earned runs. Now, I will say, give Cleveland a little bit of a break. This is every single elite lefty in the league. I mean, Rodon, Skubal, Abbott, Ranger Suarez, Rodon, Reagans, Bubic. I mean, they've placed every single elite lefty in baseball. Throw Mackenzie Gore on there, and you've got the full house. So they've seen you've seen every single elite lefty. So maybe Cleveland's numbers line up against left-handed pitching not quite as bad as they're showing. I'm down with that, but Spoon is right. On the other side, excuse me. On the other side, Houston's not hitting on the road. They're one of the worst road lineups in baseball, but they are seeing left-handed pitching well. They're the best lineup in baseball against lefties in the last 30 days. A little bit tongue-in-cheek there. They haven't seen a whole lot of lefties. They saw J.P. Sears and hit him to another planet, 9 earned runs. But before that, I mean, they saw Bubic on the 13th. Before that, Bubic on the 27th. So the Astros haven't seen a ton of left-handed pitching. So there is an avenue you can snake through if you're trying to get to Cleveland. And I would imagine most people will be on Houston here. Also a weird travel spot. Houston's still playing right now. They're in the bottom of the 9th in Pittsburgh. Cleveland, Pittsburgh, that's not exactly a grueling flight. I don't know if it's that big of a deal, but something to consider. Toast, what do you think?
Emphasis heavy on the pass. I just want to see Colton Gordon pitch well. He has really good numbers versus lefties, and it was 4 starts. It's like 14 plate appearances. So, it's just a straight pass for me. It would only probably be Cleveland at home for me just because I know how well they play at home, but I'm not betting this game.
Cool. Let's move on to the next one. I might bet Houston with you, Spoon. As of right now, it's Houston or pass. I think the price is a little suspicious, but I think there's a good chance we wake up and Houston's minus 110, minus 115.
It's suspicious because that game's going on right now.
Right.
The books you got to hold your hand up to your chin just in case they completely blow the bullpen, but I don't even think the bullpen comes into it.
No, I mean, there's 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th right now. I mean, I think I think we can pencil that one in.
It's over.
But it just ended?
Yeah.
All right, so next up is Cubs-Tigers. This line was slow to open up. In fact, it looks like only FanDuel has this open right now that I could see. I'm not sure why it's so slow to open. But the interesting part of this one, and I'm going to pass this to Toast and hear what he thinks, but I think the interesting part of this is the Cubs against lefties. What do we think? We all perceive the Cubs to be this great lineup, right? And they are. They've been one of the best lineups in baseball this year. Look when they've seen lefty starters. Mackenzie Gore, 7 shutout. Lodolo, 6 shutout. Abbott, 7 shutout. Palmquist pitched well against them. They did get to Lodolo a little bit, but this isn't a terrible start. Abbott pitched well. Weathers pitched well back-to-back games. Robbie Ray pitched great. So despite the Cubs being this elite lineup, not really getting to lefty starters at all, actually. Toast?
It'll be the Cubs for me. Just don't. Obviously, there wasn't a price before we went. A couple things for me in my head. One, fade the world because we all know it's Scooby-Doo. That, and then on top of that, yes, the Cubs haven't hit lefties, but I mean, you're getting one of the best teams in baseball at a huge plus price because of Scooble on the mound. And yes, Scooble's been dominant this year. At home against Baltimore, they suck. At home or on the road against the Angels in the beginning of May, they couldn't hit. Texas has never been able to hit. He got hit up by Boston at home. He got kind of hit up as far as Scooble standards against St. Louis, and then he faced 2 more teams in Cleveland and Kansas City that can't hit. So, again, I can't make a case that the Cubs are hitting a whole bunch of left-handed starters. You're absolutely right. But I will also say that this price is a little bit ridiculous as far as I'm concerned. Detroit's bats. I'm not trying to make a case that Ben Brown is going to go out there and shut down Detroit, but at the same time, I mean, they're coming home from a road trip. I just don't really like the spot for Detroit. I mean, they're bottom third versus right-handed pitching over the last 30 days. They're bottom third and at home the last 30 days as well. I mean, so again, I just don't feel like this price should be as high as it is when you're getting this. Like I said, this Cubs team, one of the best teams in baseball, at plus 175. Like, I'll just take my chances.
I hate that I don't necessarily disagree. I don't like
it sucks, right?
It's just like, do I really expect the Cubs to get the Scooble? It's really shaky. I mean, the idea that this team right here is a minus 205 favorite is kind of, I mean, this team isn't hitting.
If it makes you feel any better, I felt this way about Boston too. Boston scored 5 and still lost. So, what do I know?
So the Tigers aren't really hitting. In fact, in the last 30 days, this team's 20th in WRC plus against righties. In the last 14 days, this is a bottom 10 lineup. So the Tigers lineup is trending in the wrong direction. That being said, they have probably the best pitcher in baseball on the mound, and they've been really good at home this year. So I understand playing the Cubs at that number because I probably think this should be about plus 150, plus 155. So
I said 145 if it makes you feel any better.
Yeah, I mean, theoretically, that should be a positive EV bet. I just don't know if I have the backbone to actually pull the trigger on it. Spoon, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't necessarily agree with the Cubs money line here. So I assume the line is being slow to open because the Cubs are going to throw an opener out for Ben Brown, a guy that's going to eat just 1 inning, 3 outs, take a couple bats out of Detroit's lineup for Ben Brown to face. And that's because the Cubs don't trust Ben Brown against this Tigers lineup. This guy throws 2 pitches and they don't look alike. One's a fastball and one's a curve. And you feed that to this Tigers lineup. I think this is a spot where the Tigers can really get to him. On the other side of that, we just talked about how bad the Cubs have been versus lefties, but this is a Cubs team that I think can hit any pitcher. And I think this is just one of those things where we're at a small sample size portion of the season where the Cubs just haven't gotten to the point where they started to get hot versus lefties. And I think this is a spot where we're going to attack at a low total and just take the over 7. I don't think the weather is conducive enough to just think this is going to be an under spot. I know Skubal's a really good pitcher. He's a guy I like, but I think the Cubs can tag him for a run or 2, and I think they can also get to the pen. So this is a spot where I'd like to get to that over 7. If we get a tied 3-3 game, like you're obviously going to push, there's nothing that keeps me off this. I haven't actually bet it, but it's something that's really close to making action for me.
One more thing I want to add as well that kind of nudged me over to the Cubs money line as well is that Kerry Carpenter's dealing with a hamstring issue. Only 3 at bats the last couple games. So if he's not even himself, and maybe he gets up for the Cubs game, I don't know. But if he's not in that lineup or he's not 100%, that for me personally, that really takes a lot of the scare away from Detroit, especially him versus right-handed pitching. So that's my thoughts.
Parker Meadows is back in the lineup for the Tigers. He's a young kid, obviously the younger brother of Austin Meadows. This guy is going to be electric. He's great for the lineup, and the Tigers lineup's already great. I think this is a kid that's going to change this lineup for the positive. He's leading off today. Keep an eye on what this Parker Meadow kid does. I've seen him so many times up there in Toledo, and just looks like Willie Mays Hayes straight out of that Cleveland Indians movie.
In Major League 1 or 2, because he tries to be a home run hitter in Major League 2.
So I said that, and I went to a Tigers game last year. He just got called up, and I was explaining to my friend about him and how he dives in the outfield to catch catches and all this, and then he hits a home run in front of us. Like, as I'm saying it, I felt like just an idiot for not betting it.
Well, Willie Mays Hayes in Major League 2, he tries to be a home run hitter. He acts in a Hollywood movie. He kind of gets all Hollywood, but then in the second half of the season after the All-Star break, he gets back to his roots. He gets back to being an on-base guy. So it's inspiring stuff.
Every time you hit a ball in the air, you owe me 20 push-ups.
About 100 of these, one for every base I'm going to steal. Cubs. I said Cubs team total over 2.5. But I agree with Spoon. I'm not betting this one. I don't even know if you can get this number. I saw Cubs team total over 2.5 on like Fanatics or one of these sports books I can't even bet on. So I don't even know if you can get that. But if you can get a Cubs team total over 2.5 at minus 140 or better, I'd bet it. But yeah, I think there's a good chance. I'm just good on that game.
You may run like Mays, but you hit like shit.
All right, Royals on the road at Chicago to play the White Sox. I bet this one. Guys.
You bet this one?
I did, and I kind of like it. I think I got a minus 115 that I think is going to close at like minus 125, minus 130. Should be sitting on a nice one here. It is not the Royals.
Over.
No. Chicago, plus 1.5, minus 115. Yeah. I know, Toast hates it. So obviously, Royals just played a doubleheader. Immediately traveled to Chicago to play the White Sox. You like that. In that doubleheader, it's not just the fact that they played a doubleheader, but in that doubleheader, they used a whole lot of bullpen arms. And when I say a whole lot, I mean all of them. Here you go, right here. Now, some of these guys will be available. I think Estevez will definitely be available if they need him. He only threw, let me move it so you can see my face. 1 sec. So here's the Royals bullpen here. So Estevez will be available if they need him. But the fact that he threw 2 of the last 3, he's not going to come in if they're tied. He's only coming in if it's a safe situation. That's it. Schreiber, probably be available if they need him. Same goes for Lynch. But, I mean, look at these guys down here. Cruz, he threw 25. Zerpa, 42. So with the bullpen, a little bit on the tax side. Played the doubleheader. Going to Chicago where, I mean, in this game, I'm not saying that Davis Martin is better than Seth Lugo. That's freaking crazy. But, like, if you're comparing how these two guys have been pitching lately, it's actually close. Davis Martin's he's been all right. Like, here's Davis Martin's game logs. Solid start on the road in Baltimore. Solid start at home against the Rangers. Excellent start into the 8th inning against the Mariners. Great start on the road in Cincinnati. We're talking about 4 good starts in a row for Davis Martin. The Royals can't hit, man. It's a bottom 5 lineup in the last month. So, doubleheader, traveling to Chicago, bullpen taxed. Seth Lugo hasn't even been all that great. Davis Martin's been good. All that points to, give me the +1.5, man. The Royals aren't winning in blowout fashion. Spoon, are you with me?
I don't like the White Sox, Kyle. That's a really tough bet to try to get me on. So you're a big Mets fan, right? Seth Lugo,
Casual.
you remember him in the bullpen.
I do.
How was the bullpen back then in like 2020, 2021? That was kind of like hell, right?
He was our only good arm.
And he got out of that. He
wanted to start, and the Mets didn't want to let him be a starter. And then coincidentally, the Mets are like, the Mets didn't want to pay him to be a starting pitcher. So he left to become a starter in San Diego, was killing it, and then that next year, after he left to be a starter, and we didn't want him as a starter, all of our starters got hurt, and we had no starting pitching. And Lugo's like an all-star as a starter. We look like idiots in that.
So what I was getting out of there, once you earn your way out of a situation like that and you prove it, you never, ever want to go back. And the White Sox are the team that lets you go back there. So this is a Lugo. I don't care if he's injured kind of spot. The more I look at this, I think he's going to pitch well. I don't have a huge side on this. I can't possibly get there to the window with the White Sox, though, to be honest with you. I don't like Davis Martin. I would lean Kansas City Royals over. I think Caglione adds a new texture to this offense, something that you can't just necessarily go through. Like, I don't know, they haven't figured out how to put the order today. Like, Bobby Witt came up in the 9th and they were able to intentionally walk him because they had Garcia up next. Why wasn't Perez hitting 4th? And they still need to figure out how all that's going, but I could only be on the Royals here.
Someone said, for a Harry Doyle quote, Major League quote, he says, if that's not Shaquille O'Neal in left field, that baby's out of here. That's the best part of Major League. Hayes is going to need a visa to catch this one. So I'll play for myself.
These messages were brought to you by Fake Sharp Incorporated.
There you go. You guys got what you asked for. That being said, watch me cash this ticket. Toast, are you with me?
Yeah, I wouldn't take the 1.5 though. It would be White Sox money line or pass. I was looking at their team total, but it's 3.5. I didn't play it, but it's 3.5 plus money. And I don't know. And to answer your question, why Salvador Perez isn't batting 4th, because he's batting under 230 for the year. That's why he's not batting cleanup.
He's probably still the best batter in the lineup at 230.
That's probably why. So, but yeah, I just. You mentioned the bullpen situation. I don't have to go over it again, but I agree with you. Having Jack in that lineup is definitely going to help them at some point. But I do think that this price is a little bit too crazy. So again, I haven't bet it yet. But again, I would agree with you. I think that the price is a little bit high, giving these two teams and the position that Kansas City's in. If they had a full bullpen behind him or pretty close to a full bullpen behind him with some rest, I would probably be in a different situation.
All right. Let's move on. Toronto, Minnesota. Do we have anything here? No, it's Bailey Ober. Oh, it looks like FanDuel has opened this up. Looks like the Twins open up at -158, total 8.5.
Does it have a pitcher listed for Toronto on there?
Because I'm seeing undecided.
Okay, because I'm seeing like Lauer in some spots, and I just don't know who's actually pitching. So I was just curious.
You guys have any thoughts here? Obviously, I didn't look at the game. RotoWire has Eric Lauer, but I think they just put whoever's supposed. Like, I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. That's why I asked if FanDuel had something there. So, I mean, Bailey Over's been, and then Action has Gausman. When's the last time Gausman pitched? Son of a bitch. Somebody can, or I don't know. I'm not going to look that up. But regardless, it would probably be under or pass. I need to know who's the starter for Toronto. So I guess that's
so
like
Gausman pitched on 6-1, so this would be regular 5 days rest.
Okay, so if it's Gausman,
hold on. It's not going to be. They're not. FanDuel's not going to give us a freaking plus 134 if it's Gausman, would they?
That's what I'm saying. I don't understand what's going on. That's why I said that.
I assume that Lauer, what you're saying, that's going to be some sort of worked in there. I don't think Gausman's going to go. I think that's sort of a gift price. Also, Twins just travel spot too, correct? They're coming back from getting their butts whooped.
I'm good with just skipping this one if you guys are cool.
Yeah, I like the under or Toronto team total under. Bailey Over's been absolutely shoving all year long, and he's actually coming off like a not so great start himself in Seattle. So
I watched that start because I had the Twins as my top bet, and that was the game they lost in extras and they didn't score with the bases loaded.
Yeah.
And I watched that entire game, and he was getting unlucky. I remember thinking watching that game, Bailey Over is pitching better than the stat line is going to indicate. So he wasn't
on top of that, last year he did pitch against Toronto twice, 12 innings, 1 run, 18 strikeouts against this Toronto offense last year. So Bailey Over probably looks forward to seeing that matchup tomorrow. But again, we'll see. It really just depends on who's pitching for Toronto.
Is that real? Bailey Over had 18 strikeouts versus Toronto?
18?
In 2 starts, yeah.
In 2 starts.
Okay, I was very confused there for a second. I was like, there's no way Bailey Over did that.
Well, John Laffey's in the comments. He said Over had 25 strikeouts in his last 3 against the so Bailey Over has not had problems with the Blue Jays.
8, 10, 7, 6 going back to 2021. 2 of them were last year, though.
Padres on the road. Oh, someone said rain delay messed Ober up. That game was delayed by rain, wasn't it? That's a good point, too. The starting pitchers don't always like that. They have a routine. But anyway.
In Seattle?
Oh, wait, no. Maybe I'm thinking of a different game.
They had to wait for him to close the roof?
Yeah, no.
Like 10 minutes.
No, you're right. It couldn't have been because they were on the road in Seattle. I was thinking they're at home. All right, but anyway, Padres on the road in Milwaukee. Randy Vasquez against Chad Patrick. Toast, your boy's on the mound here.
I'm good with my boy. Everybody knows the question. What's the question?
How many lefties in the lineup for Milwaukee, Toast?
3.
Just 3, huh? That's a meager amount of lefties.
Hate to see it, Jonesy. Hate to see it. I would hate to see Randy Vasquez.
Trevor Vanderbosch Jones is in the comments. Brew Crew money line and Brew Crew -1.5. Padres fly across the country. Chad Patrick at home. Hottest team in baseball versus a spiraling team in the Padres.
A spiraling team. That's.
I'm reading Trevor Vanderbosch.
No, I know. I'm responding to Trevor. He can hear me as well. He ain't deaf. He didn't put this on mute. So a spiraling team. Okay. So just because you finally won some games, now you can be happy. All right. So it'll be Padres money line for me, plus 125, but I haven't bet it yet. I'm kind of waiting on this number, but we talked about it. Randy Vasquez versus only 3 lefties. You have, not to mention, you have Milwaukee coming off the road trip of their life against Philadelphia and Cincinnati. Now coming home. Yeah, they had a day off, but Chad Patrick, I feel like, has been pitching out of his mind the last couple weeks. I mean, at Philly, that was a pretty damn good start. But Boston, Baltimore, Minnesota, he really didn't look good in Minnesota. I'm just not really impressed with what I've seen from Chad Patrick. And again, please don't take this as me being a homer. You can fade me because I've been terrible, but don't fade me because I'm picking the Padres. I've picked the Padres like twice in 2 months. So this has nothing to do with that. But Padres are going to have everybody in their bullpen that you would want rested and ready to go. The cross-country trip is like 4.5 hours, so I wouldn't call it across the country. But regardless, a cross-country strip, I still think they're going to be fine. I get that Vasquez hasn't looked fantastic his last couple starts, but for me, he had 1 bad start against Philadelphia. If you're going to give me 6 innings of 3-run baseball, I'm going to take that from a guy like Randy Vasquez every time. If he pitches like that tomorrow, I think we're going to be just fine. So he's pitched on the road multiple times this year and been just fine. So is the Milwaukee offense better than the teams that he's faced? Yeah, I will give you that. But if Milwaukee continues to put up 10 runs a game, so be it. They can have my money.
I don't know about I don't know about this one. The fact that the the Brewers had the day off kind of neutralizes a little bit of the returning from a homestand. So, yeah, the Padres have everyone in their bullpen, but obviously so do the Brewers. They had the day off.
Who cares?
Spoon, I would probably price this one at like minus 155. So I guess like a slight lean to the Brewers, but I think this number is pretty on point with where it should be, personally. What do you think, Spoon?
I'm on the opposite end of this. I'm right there with Toast. I think this is a Padres money line spot. I'm not a big Chad Patrick guy. I think this is a guy. You look at his whip versus lefties. This is 1.45. Obviously, the best bats in the Padres lineup aren't lefties, but if you can get the worst bats in their lineup on, then why can't the righties come in and bring them home? I don't think this is a Milwaukee offense that's going to get to Vasquez. I'm kind of with Toast here, where I think the public dislikes this guy more than what I do. I think he's a decent pitcher. He can pitch well against this Milwaukee team. The travel spot doesn't mean a whole lot to me. Obviously, I'd like it better if it wasn't involved, but I haven't gotten to the window with it. I like more things to correlate than what's actually going on here. You see the Padres bats, and there's a lot of cold numbers. Baseball's a long season, and I think this is a spot where regression hits again. This is a Padres spot for me. I can't get to the window with Patrick at minus 149, 155. None of that sounds right to me. I think this is just a gross overreaction to a travel spot and a pitcher the public doesn't like.
Can I put some perspective into Randy Vasquez? Sorry, Sauce, but just a quick perspective. Randy Vasquez is 3-4 this year with a 3.99 ERA. Last year he was 4-7 with a 4.87 ERA. In 2023, 2-2 with a 2.87 ERA. That's like night and day better than a guy like, I don't know, Brandon Pfaadt that everybody loves and wants to talk about. Night and day better. Not even fucking close. So just put that into perspective for everybody. I'm done.
Brandon Pfaadt pitch for like the USA team, Randy Vasquez? Like you're comparing him to Brandon Pfaadt?
I'm telling you that
I don't think Vasquez was eligible to pitch
Pfaadt.
for that USA team.
Well, I don't think is. I'm just saying, I think Brandon Pfaadt is a better pitcher than Randy Vasquez.
And I'm telling you that he's not, in my opinion. Brandon Pfaadt's one of the worst starting pitchers in Major League history by his numbers.
Toast, who would you take right now? Randy Vasquez or Corbin Burns? Stop it!
Why are you thinking about it?
Corbin Burns is hurt. He just had twin babies. He took a job in Arizona to stay close to his kids, and now he can't even stay on the mound. Yeah, I'm gonna think about it. Go ahead. Pay Corbin Burns $100 million and see how far that gets you. Let's find out.
If
it's gone really well so far, right? It's been awesome. It's been awesome so far.
Spoon, after hearing that hesitation, do you want to switch your pick off the Padres?
No, absolutely not.
All right, so I don't think I disagree.
I mean, he's better than Corbin Burns. If I can have Corbin Burns at plus 124, why am I not doing it?
All right, so I don't disagree with you guys on the. I actually think Randy Vasquez can pitch well too. So I was just more making fun of Toes. But I also think Chad Patrick could pitch well. I think it'd be a sneaky under. Now I know I would really like a 9, but you can get an 8.5 at like plus 102 right now. I don't think that's bad. I think both these starting pitchers could pitch well. Both bullpens are in great shape. I think this is under. What do you guys think about that?
I don't mind that at all, with both bullpens being rested. I was obviously messing around with Trevor at the Milwaukee.
I'm going to add this one. I'm going to add this.
I don't hate that.
I'm going to add
and
this.
It's to the comment that said Brandon got paid, and he was never good, guys. He was good for 3 weeks in a postseason. 3 weeks. He was good. Okay. Bro. He has 60 plus starts and a 5+ ERA. Let me give you a list from my boy Chef Nugget. Jason Schmidt, Javier Vasquez, Charlie Morton. These are the guys that he's lining up with, people who continue to get starts. You can throw Patrick Corbin on that list too. Continue to get starts, continue to get lit up. Bum. Terrible.
What did he do to you?
Nothing. It's just like Bowden Francis. People get this idea that these guys are good because they watch them one time. They're like, oh my God, he's going to be so good. I can't wait to bet on him this year. And then the next season goes on. It's like, oh yeah, he's going to do it this year. I saw him pitch well in the playoffs 4 years ago. I saw it with my own eyes. He's good. He sucks.
He's still better than Vasquez. I just bet the under, smaller bet, but I took a plus 100, 8.5. Next game. Dodgers on the Dodgers on the road in St. Louis. Pick 'em. Robleski. Either of you guys want to talk about Robleski?
Yeah, not really, but yeah. I don't know what to think of this kid, man. I mean, is he good? Is he bad? I mean, he's one of these PCL kids. So like you look at his numbers and it's like good start, terrible start, good start, terrible start. So it's like, for me, like, I don't really know. We know that this Cardinals team versus left-handed pitching hasn't been fantastic over the last few weeks or a month or so. It's kind of, I think we've all said that's kind of dead now. So I don't know. I just don't know what to expect from him, really. I mean, it wouldn't shock me if the Cardinals got to this kid, but I do think that, I mean, and Lindy's talked about this a lot on our show as well, like detailing how these guys can pitch better when they come out of that league. So there's a part of me that believes that he can pitch well, but then at the same time, that Dodgers bullpen is just absolutely unreliable. I know that they ended up getting the win today on it. I mean, that was so lucky. It's not even funny. I don't know how I won that bet, but I mean, Tanner Scott went today. That's going to be 3 of the last 4 days. Vesia went today. That's 2 of the last 3 days. I don't have the list in front of me, but I know Urena went today. So not that he's great or anything. I'm pretty sure if Banda didn't go today, he's still 4 of the last 5 days or something like that. So he's been worked a ton. So I'm just not in a position where I trust this Dodgers lineup. I bet St. Louis. I feel so stupid because I've been losing, but I mean, to trust Sonny Gray, but this Dodgers offense has been so hit or miss as well. And now you're getting this Cardinals team that like I said, I don't know what to expect from Robleski, but it wouldn't shock me if they got to him tomorrow. And the Cardinals, I know that they played that doubleheader today, but I mean, they used everybody had multiple days off before that. So they should have everybody in their bullpen ready to go. Besides, I think John King, I think he pitched both games today. So besides that, everybody in the St. Louis bullpen should be good to go. So I got St. Louis at -105. I hope that Sonny Gray doesn't make me feel really, really stupid because I usually never back this guy. I think he's terrible. But I am doing it tomorrow because this Dodgers offense has not been impressive.
I kind of think the way to go here, Spoon, would just be over or pass, but I'm not really interested. What do you think?
Yeah, I like this Robleski kid. He's got 6 pitches, a really nice pitch mix arsenal, can mix it up. I think Sonny Gray, every time he goes out there on the mound on a day he's expected to win, he shows up. And I think on days where he goes up against good offenses, it's a little bit pedestrian. It's Sonny Gray. He's never been that elite guy. And while he shows up in versus the bad teams, I think the Dodgers are the team that kind of makes him not look as good as he's been to this point in the season. You can say whatever you want about the Dodgers bats not being great. You look at their statistics. They're a really good hitting team. You look at this lineup. They have all the intangibles for a lineup that you want to see. I think Robleski can go out there. Like, he's a guy that's regularly starting right now in the minors. I think they need him to get innings. Obviously, the Dodgers are not in a great spot. This guy would be in the minors. He wouldn't be up in the majors if everybody was healthy. But I think mentally that's a spot where a kid like this is like, how many more opportunities do I get like this with the Dodgers? And this is Busch Stadium. This could be a more pitcher friendly park. I think this is a spot where I'd like to back the young pitcher and put me up for Dodgers money line.
One other thing that kind of set me over the edge with St. Louis that I forgot to talk about was Robleski, because you mentioned St. Louis. Going back to last year, his last 5 road starts. On the road at Washington, 5 innings, 5 hits, 8 runs. On the road at Arizona, 5 innings, 10 hits, 10 runs. On the road at St. Louis, 5 hits, 4 runs. On the road at Houston, he finally had a good one, 5 2/3, 2 runs. On the road at Detroit, 5 innings, 4 runs. So he actually has pitched decent in Dodger Stadium at times. On the road, hasn't been a fun place for Mr. Robleski.
Yeah, I'm just going to put up an over. If I was bet, I would just take the over 8.5 or pass, but I have no interest in this one. I don't know who Robleski is. We've talked about him before on the show, so it's not my first time ever seeing him, but like, I don't have a feel on how to price out a Robleski start. So let's move on to the next one. Mets, Rockies. Hold on. Mets against a piping hot Rockies team. Some people are saying the Rockies might not lose another baseball game this year. I saw that. We're talking 3 wins in a row. When is this Rockies team going to lose? Wow.
Who's Scotty Scheffler now?
Yeah,
Did you see the tweet from the Rockies?
no.
Yeah, that's why I said that.
They passed Scheffler. They tweeted about it.
Yeah, you can tell if you remember it. It was like the Rockies 3 or something, Scheffler 2 or something. I don't know. It was funny.
That's awesome.
So they changed the date after the original post, and since then, because the Rockies have obviously gone 3-0, and they just put 3 and Scheffler out. It was a pretty solid tweet.
Damn, I'm trying to find it, but yeah, that's
it was
awesome.
fantastic. It was from the Rockies team page.
Shout out Rockies for that. Anyway,
It's just Wendy's working for them.
so I obviously the tell is on the mound. I think Kodai Senga might give up some runs here. The Rockies just saw him, and Kodai Senga is not a guy that blows you away with a fastball or anything. Does the ghost?
And he's never pitched in Colorado. He doesn't know what his balls are going to do tomorrow.
I was just going to say that. So he's never pitched in this weird ass elevation before. Does the ghost fork have the same bite in Coors Field? Because that's what happens in the elevation. I mean, there's significant change in the spin rate of these pitches, and some of the breaking stuff just does not work the same in Coors Field. That's why if you watch, we've talked about it, more inclined to back a fastball pitcher in Coors Field than a guy that relies on breaking stuff. Now, it's Kodai Senga against the Rockies, so, like, good luck. But, like, there's no way in hell I would try anything with the Mets here. I don't think I have the stones to take the Rock. What do you think, Spoon?
Yeah, I caught a little bit of slack in the voice chat for bringing up the Rockies. I said a lot of what you just said. I don't think, if you look at Senga, all of his starts have been in pitcher-friendly environments this year, every single one. And now we move here to Coors Field, and this is the opposite of a pitcher-friendly environment. This is a guy that throws his fastball 30% of the time. That ghost fork, while it's an amazing pitch, this is where breaking balls go to die. This is not a spot where you want to be a breaking ball pitcher. And you can get +3 right now. Is there plus money? I see -102 on Rockies. Like that's really good value.
A
I
full
know it's
3?
on the other.
2.5 plus 110 is like the standard right now. You can get 3.5, 130 if you want it.
I'm looking DK right now, +3, -105.
Yeah, on ESPN, you can get 3.5, 130 if you want it, if you have ESPN.
Wow.
And I know it's Senzatella on the other side, but this seems like a spot where the Rockies can carry over a little bit. Like, as a team, everybody's been calling them the worst team in baseball all year. This could be the worst team that's ever existed. You know what? Baseball's been played for over 100 years, and there's a reason there's only one worst team that's ever existed. Regression happens. Hot streaks happen. The Rockies are going to win some games. I don't know that they win this game. I don't necessarily think I want to go that far, but I think they stay competitive. I don't think Senga has a good game. Not trying to say Senzatella is going to be a world beater tomorrow, but I think this is definitely a Rockies +3 spot. I might even go to the window with it, to be honest with you.
I don't hate it. Toast, what do you think?
Over 10.5. I'm not. Why deal with a side? Everybody, and I hate that I have to be the one to do this, but everybody wanted to preach and talk shit about the Mets when their offense wasn't going, and now here they are, just scorching the ball, scoring essentially 5 or 6 runs a game, and nobody wants to talk about the Mets offense right now. So I think this is another spot where the Mets offense continues to hit well. I mean, they have another 5 runs tonight, 6, 5, 4, 5, 8, 4, 4, 6. I mean, this team is hitting the ball right now. They just saw Senzatella. I mean, Senzatella's given up 4 runs in every single start, at least his last 7 going back. You have Kodai Senga, who's never pitched in Coors, versus a Rockies team that finally has a little bit of confidence and literally just saw him 6 days ago. I only feel like I only need the Rockies to contribute a little. I think the Mets should score 6 or 7 here. So, I'm playing over 10.5 personally.
I would say over or pass. I'm not betting it. I kind of like the Rockies +3 also. But yeah, I'm good. Let's
start take that 3.5 if you can get it.
3.5.
-130. Why not?
I'm getting a home team in an MLB game at +3.5, like it's an NFL game. It's freaking crazy.
Is it going to move to 3, guys? We should probably hit.
Shout out Rough Riders. We cashed -3.
Seattle on the road in. You guys, I'll go last because I'm a little embarrassed.
What are you embarrassed? Well, now you have to go first. You don't get to do that on this.
Because I made the bed and then
you're gonna be in the shadows.
No, I made the bed and then Toast started talking about the Seattle papers in the voice chat. And
Oh my god!
I thought it was a good point, and it made me feel like I shouldn't have placed the bet. So
wasn't.
Well, you were talking. So we placed this bet. The Angels go back home where they don't hit. Remember, the Angels have been hitting on the road. They don't hit at home. So the Angels go back home where they don't hit. Seattle just had an embarrassing homestand. Now they go on the road. We've played teams in those kind of spots when you have a change of location after an embarrassment. Like you just get dusted up in front of your home fans, and then you go out on the road. It's like a change of pace. So I think it's a good spot to buy low on the Mariners. I think it's a good spot to sell high on the Angels bats now that they go home where they don't hit at all. So I like everything about the spot for both teams. I played the Mariners at plus 145. By the way, just to give you an idea, so you don't think I'm exaggerating here, the Angels on the road, best lineup in baseball in the last 30 days. First, at home, they're one of the worst. 28th in the last 30 days, 30th in the last 14 days. So the Angels don't hit at home. So here's the thing. After I placed this bet, Toast was talking about an article he read in the Seattle papers about Bryce Miller and like he has a tight elbow and like he said he was like it feels a little tighter than normal and I don't even know, but I felt weird about it. I'm on the Mariners, but Toast is going to talk about the Seattle papers.
Okay, so yes, you guys know I'm a nerd. I like to read the papers. So my point to that was I was asked about Bryce Miller. Bryce Miller is like one of my favorite players. This wasn't me trying to say that Seattle wasn't a good bet, but Bryce Miller is coming back from injury. I think that part of it is him kind of fighting through some injury concerns of himself because of other guys not being able on this pitching staff. I know that they finally got Kirby back, but they didn't have Kirby. They didn't have Gilbert for a while, who's been up and down. So I do think this part of it is him trying to get back closer than it was before. And when I was talking about what the quote was, he said something to the nature, I'm not going to read it quote for quote, but he says, when my arm cools off, it feels so much stiffer than it does in other days. When it's fresh, it feels right. But when it starts to get cold, or talking about his arm, not the temperature, my body doesn't seem to know what to do. I can keep my body, shoulder, and elbow as warm as I can, but it gets really tough at night. And when I start standing around for more than 10 minutes, it tightens up whenever it starts to cool off. I've made the trainers aware of it. I have heat packs. I'm trying to stay ready. That doesn't give me much.
Bro. Why would you say that to a reporter if things are good? Does that sound like if things are good in my life, I'm not going to a reporter like I'm feeling tight at night and like it feels cold and like, I don't know, soft.
So for me, like I said, I'm just not in a position where I trust him right now, especially on the road where that's a place that he struggled before. He also made the comment. He said, quote, like I said a few times before I went on the IL, it felt like an uphill battle, not only physically, but mentally. So if he's trying to work through things mentally as well, it's really not a position where I want to be backing Bryce Miller. I will give you that the Angels, I can't argue that the Angels lineup hasn't been terrible at home. Yes. But I will say Clark Schmidt, I mean, he's somewhat decent. He's not that good. You can call it what you want, but Rodon, Yarborough, Cabrera, Cal Quantrill, all those guys were pitching pretty damn well. So you don't really expect them to score a whole bunch. Sandy Alcantara sucks. They got to him. And then you can go back to their other homestand. They won against Kyle Gibson. They didn't look good against Sagano. They looked good against Bassett. They looked good against Barrios. They looked good against Arena. They looked bad against Skubal. I mean, I could keep on going down. My point is that I still feel like they've faced some pretty decent competition at home that definitely helps their numbers. They haven't been great, but I do feel like they've faced some pretty decent competition as well. And the times that they were supposed to hit, they've hit. They've also seen Bryce Miller a lot. They've seen him 5-6 times in the last 2 years as well. So if there's one team that knows him, obviously this Angels lineup is a little bit different, but there's multiple guys in that lineup that have seen Bryce Miller a lot of times. So whether it be Neto or Ward or Shamo or Adele, I mean, all those guys are 8+ at bats. So they know how to approach the situation. So I do think that Seattle's going to do the heavy lifting, but I don't know if I said this in the beginning. I played over 9.
Oh, I think Spoon agrees with you on that. I think he's on the over as well.
I played the over 9. So I think that Seattle does the heavy lifting with the bats against Hendricks. And I do think that, again, Miller's able to get touched up a little bit. I don't think that he's going to be pitching like 7 innings or 7 runs like he was against Toronto at home. But, I mean, his last 3 road starts, Oakland, Boston, Cincinnati, 1 good one in Cincinnati, 2 really mediocre starts in Boston and Sacramento or whatever the hell you want to call them. So I played the over. Like I said, I do think that the Mariners do the heavy lifting.
Spoon, I'm pretty sure I heard you say you run the over also in the voice chat.
So I kind of went back and forth on this a little bit. My big issue here is with Bryce Miller. Obviously, coming back from elbow inflammation, he's going to be on a pitch count. I don't think this is a spot where I can get there with Seattle personally. I am a Kyle Hendricks fan. I believe that his stuff still plays. There's a reason he's in the majors. It's not because he's dominating, but it's because he's helping younger pitchers, and he's still serviceable out there on the mound. I think this is a spot where Kyle Hendricks might be able to subdue this Seattle lineup. There's not that many hitters in it. And while I try to get there, I just feel like that's the fan in me. And then the better in me looks at the spreadsheet, and I just can only get there with the over. I don't think Bryce Miller is going to be long for this game. And I think Kyle Hendricks probably gives up a few runs and then has to give this game over to a bullpen that's not really that great either. If you've looked at Seattle's bullpen over the last 14 days, this is a bullpen that's struggling themselves, and they're mentally going through it. Putting that behind a pitcher that's not ready, I can't get there with the money line with them. But an over is something I'm looking at. I haven't bet it though.
Let's move on to the next one. I did bet this.
If you like Seattle and you want to get Rowdy Tellez is like 9 for 20 off of Kyle Hendricks. He has by far the best numbers versus Kyle Hendricks for the Mariners.
So next
I heard
up
that was Sauce's like alter ego in the chat last night.
I hear Tellez, and I used to get Lance Lynn too.
Somebody said that I look like Lance Lynn one time, and I was like, I don't know.
I've gotten Lance Lynn, Rowdy Tellez are the two baseball I get.
I think you kind of look like Cam Scatterborough or whatever, the Giants running back. That's
I
who I
see
think.
that. I do
See what I mean?
that.
You know what I mean? That's what I see.
Yeah.
Anyway, Baltimore A's.
That wasn't a bad thing, by the way.
No. Baltimore's on the road in Sacramento against the A's. So ESPN Bet and FanDuel do have this open for what it's worth. It looks like it's Baltimore minus 124, A's plus 106. Dean Kramer's pitching. It says JP Sears. Is that confirmed?
I don't know. I'm probably in the same position as you. I assume it's Sears and Kramer, but not positive on the Sears situation.
What do you think, Spoon? Is it JP Sears here? Or actually, Spoon was talking about this game. He thinks Baltimore can get to Sears if it's Sears.
So I was just double checking that. I saw Sears as I capped this game, and that's what I was expecting. I'm looking right now, and I still see him in a couple spots. I don't know if that's for sure or not, but I think if Sears is on the mound, I think this is a spot where Baltimore can get to him. This is a team that hasn't hit lefties this year at all, and obviously JP Sears throws with his left hand, but he's not a good lefty. And I look at this Baltimore lineup, and they have all the pieces that can hit lefties. It just hasn't happened yet. And I know sometimes it's hard to say that, but the lineup's getting hot, and they haven't faced a left-handed pitcher in quite a while now. You have to go back to Mackenzie Gore almost a month ago, and he only went 3 2/3 against them. They got 10 hits off him. I think this is a lineup that's changed quite a bit in the last month, and I think Baltimore can really get to Sears. I know a lot of people don't like Kramer, but he's a pitcher I do like, and this stadium is the only thing that scares me about trying to back him here. It can play pretty offensive friendly sometimes, but I really believe that Dean Kramer can go through this lineup. This is a Baltimore spot for me. I haven't put it on my card yet and actually bet it, but I do have a pretty good lean that way, and I may bet it.
I'll put a Baltimore money line up on the screen for you. It's minus 124. I mean, I think trusting Dean Kramer here on the road is crazy, but it doesn't matter. I mean,
he doesn't have the man bun anymore. He doesn't rock the man bun.
Well, that changes everything.
It does.
Toast, do you have any thoughts on this one?
I agree. It would be Baltimore a pass for me. First and foremost, I don't let one blow-up game for Oakland change the fact that they can't win to save their life for the last month and a half. So I definitely need to see at least 2 games that they actually play solid in and win a game for me to back them. But more to the point of the Baltimore offense, again, like a 550 or 546 OPS versus lefties as a team, not great. But like Spoon said, JP Sears isn't an average lefty. He's far, far from an average lefty. He's much below average. On top of that, as a whole, this Baltimore offense, like he said, has been completely different. I mean, Daniel Carlson, last 28 days. Daniel Carlson, 865 OPS. Colton Cowser, again, only 10 play appearances, but still hitting very, very well. Gunnar Henderson starting to hit up 770 OPS. Colby Mayo with Colby Mayo not really doing anything. It was Ryan O'Hearn, a 922 OPS. And then Adley Rutschman, only a 650 OPS, but Adley Rutschman is starting to come around. And if he's starting to hit like the Adley Rutschman that we know and love, I really do think a switch hitter at the top of that lineup does change things around. Adley Rutschman, I think, hits in 4 of his last 5 games or something like that, including an RBI the other day and a homer. So if this Baltimore offense, like we've known in the past as well as a team, is kind of streaky, I mean, Baltimore's playing really, really good baseball right now, and they've been doing it with and without the bullpens at times. So I think this is another good spot. It is a little... I mean, the price is a little bit weird to me. I think it's a little bit cheap for considering how bad Oakland has been this whole time. But it would only be Baltimore for me. I have to see Oakland do something with my eyes before I bet them.
Straight pass.
I didn't bet this, though.
Yeah. Well, we don't even know for a fact that Sears is pitching. So true. That was kind of all speculation by these guys. Atlanta, San Francisco. Interesting game. So this is the last game on the board, but it's a very interesting one. And the reason I'm saying this is we have differing views. In the voice chat, there was a couple people that really like the Braves. There was a couple people that really like the Giants, and there's a couple people that really like the under. So everyone's kind of all over the place here. Toast, do you trust the bird?
I've never not trust the bird, first and foremost. First 5 under 4, minus 118. That's what I did. So, yes, I trust Hayden Birdsong. I think I'm the head of the Hayden Birdsong is Good fan club, and everybody. I'm just checking tickets to let everybody in at this point. So
nobody wants him, dude.
You should see the line. I had tickets.
Is the line in the room with us right now, Toast?
Yeah, it was a whole situation, man. You know how it is trying to get tickets for people and stuff, and then you just throw your hands in the air and say screw it. But in all seriousness, he's. Since becoming a starter, he's been pretty damn good. He was really good in the bullpen as well. Coming off, the Detroit start on the road, 4 innings, 3 runs, not fantastic. But his 2 home starts, one against Kansas City, one against, I guess St. Louis was last year, excuse me. The one against Kansas City, 5 innings, 5 hits, 1 run. Look, this Braves team, I don't know what to think about. Obviously I lost my bet with them today, and they scored, 9 runs or whatever it is. But I have a hard time believing they just kick it on and just score a whole bunch of runs tomorrow. Hayden Birdsong's been pretty damn good. And then on the other side, Schwellenbach has been hit or miss. I will give you that. But this Giants offense has done absolutely nothing for, it seems like, weeks now. So I'm not in a position where I feel like the San Francisco offense is going to get anything off of Schwellenbach. So Schwellenbach's only 2 road starts in those last 7 against Arizona and Boston. Not great, but he went 7 innings, gave up 4 runs in Boston. He went 6 innings and gave up 4 runs in Arizona. I just feel like this is a really good spot for both pitchers to pitch well. Not to mention Atlanta's literally flying across the country from Atlanta to San Francisco tomorrow. So not a great spot for them as well. So first 5 under for me. Can't really pick a side. I do kind of probably lean Atlanta though.
It's disgusting because the Giants are not hitting at all. To give you an idea of how bad, because remember they were on that road trip and I kept saying, guys, don't worry, the Giants hit at home, they're terrible on the road, but they hit at home. Well, they've been home now and we're not seeing it. This lineup doesn't show any signs of being resuscitated. In the last 30 days, they're 25th at WRC plus. They're 28th in the last 2 weeks against right-handed pitching. 22nd in the last 30 days, 28th in the last 2 weeks. And the numbers at home on the season, they've been good. But look, like I said, they're back from this road trip and they're just not hitting. Schvelli's been the man. Giants, they scored on Pivetta, but before that, look at all these pitchers they did not score on. All of them. So, but how
Giants have scored more than 3 runs, I think, once in 11 games.
Right. So it's how do you play on that Giants lineup, but also how do you play on the Braves flying across the country? In the bullpen for the Braves, you're not going to see Iglesias here. He throw back-to-back days. Point. You're probably not going to see Bummer here. He's throwing on back-to-back days. So at this price in the spot, you have to bet the Giants. Boy.
Well, you're not going to have Duvall. You're probably not going to have Rodriguez. There's
Oh,
questions in the
Lord.
Giants bullpen as well. Like I can't. That's why I played the first 5 under, because I don't want to. Neither one of these bullpens are in a very good position. Either one of them. So I wanted to stick to the first 5. That's why I played the first 5, because the Giants bullpen is in a situation as well. Tyler Rogers didn't work today, but he worked 3 of the last 4 days previous to that. So just not a good situation in general.
What do you think, Spoon? I guess I kind of like that first 5 under. What do you think?
When I look at the range of outcomes in this game, I always come back to Atlanta here. I look at San Francisco and I just see them having to walk a tightrope to make this win happen. And I think at the price, for me, it has to be Atlanta. I know Iglesias will not be available, and that makes it not an advantageous spot to get to them full game. But I still, overall, think this Atlanta bullpen can get the game home for him. I think Schwellenbach's a pretty good pitcher. I think there's a spot. I don't hate Hayden Birdsong at all. This is more one of those. That first 5 unders live. I think this is one of those spots where the Giants bats just don't show up and Atlanta just comes home with the win. I don't think they necessarily blow them out or anything. And I think the total is really reflective of that with the 7.5 and Atlanta, but I'm not betting it.
So if I was to bet it, I just looked. I'm not betting this game, but if I was to bet it, this is the bet I'd be going with right here. I think Birdsong's going to pitch well with the Braves flying across the country. I just think it's a terrible spot for the Braves bats, and I think Birdsong's going to pitch well. But I can't trust the Giants bats to do much. Just give me one Oshvelli to cash this. I like those first 5 under, but you get the Giants' first 5 money line at plus 110. Not betting it, but that's the way I would go with this one. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Spoon, where can the people find your stuff?
You can find me on X at Spoons Bets, and you can find me over at Pub Sports Radio. I do a show with my friend Wine Time Sports once a week on Sunday, and my friend Jimmy once a week on Thursday. Pretty good day today. Like to keep it rolling.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sauce.
And he tweets out, like when he's doing a show, he tweets it out. So that's his Twitter right there below him. I actually didn't tag him in today's tweet, but I usually tag him when he's on. But that's his Twitter right there, Spoons Bets. If you want to go check out his stuff. He's also in the Discord hanging out too. So everyone, enjoy your night. Betting league stuff, give me about 30 minutes. I'll have it up. Hit me up.